Here's some information about complete sentences, how to avoid fragments and run-ons, all the different kinds. A complete sentence needs to have a subject and a predicate. Predicate includes a verb. You must have a subject and a verb that work together to make a complete thought. So if you are missing the subject, the predicate, or it is an incomplete thought, that is where you are going away from the complete sentence. For example, Bobby smiled until he thought his face would crack. So Bobby, subject, verb, smiled, all the rest of it would be the predicate. But sometimes you can have a fragment when the sentence cannot stand on its own. So some ways that a sentence can not stand on its own, be an incomplete thought or a fragment. If it locates something in time and place but lacks that relationship, subject verb, for example, last Saturday after the ball game at the ice cream shop, you would need to add on something there to make that a complete thought. You could also not have a subject-verb relationship, just be descriptive. For example, shooting just before the buzzer rang and hoping to score the winning point. I always just feel at the end of the sentence like I lean in and I wait for the rest of it. You need like shooting just before the buzzer rang and hoping to score the winning point, comma, Bobby finally, threw the ball. It could miss part of the verb. Some of the girls going together to the mall. You would need to add some of the girls are going together to the mall, or else something at the end. Some of the girls going together to the mall wore purple. It could have everything but still be an incomplete thought, still not be able to stand on its own for some reason. For example, even though she was the prettiest girl, had a great talent presentation. Yeah, that needs to be a comma at the end, and you need to add something else. Like, even though she was the prettiest girl and had a great talent presentation, she still lost the pageant. So, the opposite of a fragment that is not a complete sentence is when you have a run-on. A run-on sentence has more than one complete thought or more than one complete sentence in it, and it is not punctuated correctly. So, normally a run-on, you have two complete thoughts, two complete sentences that could stand on their own, but the author has put them together incorrectly. So, remember, the length of the sentence doesn't change whether or not it's complete or not. You can have two short sentences together. For example, the books are heavy, don't carry them. That's a run-on. You have the books are heavy, that's a complete thought on its own, and then don't carry them, another complete thought on its own. That should be two sentences. A certain type of run-on that's pretty common is called a comma splice. It's when you have two complete thoughts, two independent clauses that are separated only by a comma. The books are heavy, comma, don't carry them. You can't do that. A comma on its own can't handle the pressure of combining two complete sentences. There's correct ways to do that. For example, you can just make two independent clauses, two separate sentences with the period in the middle. You could change that comma to a semicolon. That's the dot with a comma under it. That works. Two complete thoughts can be separated by a semicolon. Or if you still want to use the comma, you can use a conjunction, a short conjunction, namely fanboys. If you remember that from middle school, it stands for the words for, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Any of those can be added to a comma where it makes sense, and that makes the two complete thoughts then together work as one complete sentence. Okay, so let's look at a couple. Walking through the dark forest would be an example of a fragment. Bob was running in the yard. Complete sentence. We'll do one more. This is my first ball game, but I think we will win. That is a run-on because it's missing the comma. You need the comma and the conjunction to make two complete thoughts together into one complete sentence. Alright, so we'll stop there for now. That was some information about complete sentences. Let me know if you have any questions about that.